Welcome to the Gen X Pole Arts podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of Gen X Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you are a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, episode 39. I am Zen. You guys know that already, and it says it on my wall. But today I have another amazing, creative, beautiful guest. Her name is Orchid. Orchid Cameron, welcome to the show. I am so happy you're here. Somebody who I had planned to have on much earlier, and I just get distracted by the shiny new object or whatever, and things get put on the back burner. So thank you. I wish you were here sooner, but you're here now. So I appreciate
I'm happy to be here.
you.
Yeah.
And your beautiful background with the flowers and the gorgeous hair. So you guys, I know Orchid because she was my yoga teacher. If you've been following along on the Gen X Pole Arts Instagram, you will have seen for the past year, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to yoga. Hey, it's yoga day. It's yoga day. Well, Orchid was the teacher. So one day in class, I think, I don't know if I was wearing a shirt that said pole on it, but there's somehow something, and you asked me something, I don't know. And I said, I'm a pole dancer. And you said, me too. And I said, what? Because I never just randomly
So
run into
what
pole dancers.
happened was at the end of my yoga class, I tell everyone to follow me on Instagram and reach out with any yoga questions. And you
Oh,
did. And then I saw your Instagram and then I was like, I do pole too. So it was
that's
more me creeping on you. So you didn't announce that you did pole.
okay. Maybe there was some kind of random discovery that happened, and
Well, I mean, we have a lot in common. So
we
I'm
do.
very obsessed with health. I'm very obsessed with like maximizing the fun and pleasure in my life and other people's lives. Like I'm always trying to, I don't know, I always try to be everyone's best friend. I'm like a puppy. I'm just everybody's like,
Yeah.
let's be best friends. And it's actually kind of hard to get me to dislike somebody. They have to be really like a very bad person. So like I'm just like, yay, let's be friends. So like there's that, and then just like I don't know, I have a very strong mixed relationship with pole, and I can't wait to talk to you about all of the
Mm.
things.
I know because for as many times as we've hung out and supported each other at events, because Orchid is also a comedian and writer. So you will, I hope, hear about that. I hope you talk about that because she's fantastic and she's traveled the world with her comedy. And she's also a mom. So we try to support each other and we hang out and whatever, but we never really have talked about pole dancing
Right,
through
that's
all that.
true. We've even gone to pole shows together and not talked about pole dancing
Yeah.
specifically.
It's so
Yeah.
weird. Huh. Why are we like that?
It's like that David Foster Wallace story about the fish, and they're like the fish are like, "What's water?"
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just like a part of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a comedian, a stand-up comic. Do you want me to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I
About
mean,
my
you want to
life?
introduce
Okay.
yourself? Sure.
Sure.
Please.
Okay. My name's Orchid. I have 2 kids. I do stand up and I teach yoga and I've done like a variety. So I've always been in the arts. Um,
Mhm.
so I've had a variety of day jobs for the last like 25, 30 years. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm also okay, so I'm also the type of person that I don't know, I guess starting from the beginning seems a little extreme, but I'm the type of person that I watch so much TV between age 0 and 14 that at age 14, I just set a goal to like not watch TV for a week. And then
Oh,
I just felt so much better that I just stopped watching TV in my teen years.
oh, wow.
And then
Interesting.
during that time, I just decided to like master a lot of things. So I like
Mm.
read an article about yoga when I was 16 and I just did like the 3 poses in the magazine article, like not a big deal,
Mhm.
just a little magazine.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time I did yoga. Uh but then I was a dance major and mostly ballet, but I also did modern jazz, etc. And I also like did swing dancing every night cuz in the late
Oh, that's
90s,
cool.
early 2000s like swing was really in.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, anyway, so I dance every day of the week. And, so from, like, 16 to 19, I danced, like, pretty much every day of the week. And
Wow.
then I got, like, a devastating diagnosis of, like, never dance again. And
Mm,
my physical therapist was like, "People who have this problem do tai chi and yoga and are vegan, and they get better." And so I
mm.
was like a good little student. I'm like, I did all those things. I was like,
Yeah.
I stopped all dance and I went from dancing every day to doing yoga just twice a week and Tai Chi twice a week. That's it. And then I changed my diet. And within 3 months, like 90% of my pain was gone. So
Wow.
yeah, to go from like be on disability for the rest of your life to
Mhm.
also remember this is like I'm talking about the 90s when it's you couldn't just Google stuff. So
Right.
I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to I went to my school, my university library and I read
Uh-huh.
everything I could. And while I'm like sitting on the ground reading these like fat medical books.
Mhm.
And then the librarian, who's the sweetest guy, his name's Carl, I remember him 30 years later.
Wow.
He came up to me and he
Amazing.
was like, "Here's some more books for your book report." And I'm like crying, I'm like, "It's not my book report,
It's
it's
my
my
life.
life." 'Cause basically, like, my life at that point was like, take drugs until you get used to those drugs, and then you take more drugs, and then
Mm,
take more drugs till you lose your mind. And,
mm.
in the waiting room of, like, the rheumatologist so just in the waiting room, this older woman looked at me and she's like, "They keep giving me more drugs and I
Oh.
still don't feel well." And then I go
Oh.
in, he gives me this spiel about what drugs I should be on, and I was just like, "No, thank you."
Oh
So
my gosh.
as a teenager, I went kind of like because I had such an amazing like healing experience of just changing my diet and changing how I move my body that
Mhm.
like I've been obsessed with like health and like the body's self-healing properties since I was like 19 years old. And so
Wow.
that's a long time. And so that combined with not watching TV is like so I'll be like, "Okay, so yoga healed my body. I have multiple certificates in yoga, like
Mm,
multiple." And then
mhm.
because I fixed a lot of my ailments with food, I actually became a personal chef for a while to help people who are having constant body aches. Because, like, when your body
Amazing.
hurts, it's hard to wash your own vegetables. When your body hurts, it's hard to even
Mm.
just like stand up to make your food. And so I
Yeah.
would like meal prep for people and then they'd like get so much better. And
Yeah.
so the amount of URLs and LLCs and doing business it's like I've done so many things. And so yeah, I went through a phase of like personal chefing. I got obsessed with cooking for a long time. And then yeah, and then so with pole, mm, It's very complicated for me. I was raised very religious. I was raised
Mhm.
extremely religious. I was, like, so religious, not only was I, like, a virgin, but, like, no one touched my boobs, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like a I didn't swear,
Mm.
I didn't do I was such a goody two-shoe all through high school. No wonder why my
Uh-huh.
body ached all the time. I was, like,
Yes.
so restricted. I was just
Oh my
very
gosh.
restrictive
Yeah.
person, and so as a perfectionist and I was restrictive with everything like that. So, I was so religious. I was celibate during my 20s and then I got married to someone after being celibate and then big surprise, he was not that sexual and I was.
Mm.
So I was
Uh,
just
woke up the beasts.
it was just like I had been like kind of
Yeah.
quote unquote saving myself for the perfect guy because I just wanted a best friend that would fuck the shit out of me. Like that was my goal
Sure.
for marriage. Just like best
Why
friend.
not? Yeah.
Right? And then that is not what my experience was. So I
Mm.
was doing all kinds of things to make him interested in me. I was
Uh-huh.
spiking his smoothie with maca. That worked for about a week. Then that you know what I mean? Like I would just like
Yeah.
everything I did to try to make him interested in me. So I secretly took pole, secretly
Ah,
for
okay.
6 months, secretly took pole, and then I rented the space to dance for him. Like, it was, like, me, my teacher, and
Yeah.
him in the and he was, like, so shy. He was, like
Aw.
he it was his Father's Day present, and he sat in the little chair, the lap dance chair, and then the teacher was super accommodating. She was just like, "So do you wanna cheer or not cheer? Do you wanna feel it?" And I was just like, "He doesn't wanna cheer. He's just gonna quietly sit there," or
Aw.
whatever. And I'm like, "But it's okay for you to cheer if you want to." And she did. And so 'cause, you know,
Okay.
I trained at S Factor, which is very, like,
Yeah.
no mirrors, all cheering
Mm.
for each other. Like, it was like you know
Mhm.
what I mean? It was a
Yeah.
very positive experience in a lot of ways. Anyways, he was interested in me for about a week, and then he didn't like it anymore. He then if I
Yeah.
danced for him, it just felt like pressure. So, like,
Mm.
all of the but he did tell me to keep doing it because he could tell I liked it. It brought something good
Okay.
out of me.
Yeah.
So, but then I was in that marriage for 8 years and just frustrated out of my mind, just super
Mm.
frustrated out of my mind. That is just like it's really hard to feel unattractive. Like, it was
Yeah.
really hard. But I just had kind of extremes. So, like, from I talk about this in my comedy a lot, but, like, 0 through 14, I was, like, the ugly, nerdy kid, and I read all day. So, I was just
Yeah.
super nerdy, you know what I mean? Like, watch TV by myself or read, and then suddenly I was the hot person, and
Mm.
then but that didn't feel less lonely for me.
Yeah.
Because then people were kinda, like had predator vibes towards
Oh,
me,
yeah. Mhm.
and then women didn't like me because the men were all creeping on me. So it was just, like, a
Yeah.
little bit like, "Well, this is kind of worse."
Yeah.
And, so when I got married, I'm like, "Finally, someone who listens to the content of what I'm saying."
Mm.
Because
Right.
like, I
Right.
had been so objectified, it's like I've technically been doing comedy for about 22 years, but
Yeah.
I was still booking acting and modeling jobs in my 20s to my mid-30s, really. I
Yeah.
was still booking modeling jobs till my mid-30s.
Mhm.
So, I wasn't gonna prioritize comedy partially because I was still making money, right? But at the same time, it's like I'm used to people wanting me to be like an arm candy trophy girlfriend, and they just like
Mm.
kind of ignore my personality.
Yeah.
Like just pretend like I'm gonna just put up with this person so I can
Aw.
have this hot girl on the red carpet, right? Like that kind of feeling. And
Mhm.
so marrying someone who would like it was like he was immune to my superpower of sexiness but
Mm.
he was
I know it's not funny, but it's
No,
just
it's funny.
you
You
are
can
just
laugh.
funny.
You are allowed to laugh at
Okay.
this. I am a
Alright.
stand-up comedian. You can't but no, but
I'm
it is
laughing at your delivery. I'm not laughing at what your experience was because it's awful, I know. Yeah.
Dude, I
But
know
keep
you have
going, I'm
I
sorry.
know you have similar problems. You are hot. You have similar problems as me. So I don't feel judged. No, but
I've
it's
had
just
it,
like
yes.
I went from like nerdy and ignored and taunted to like
Mhm.
now everyone's trying to sleep with me. That was
Yeah.
both of those things were scary and isolating. And
Yeah.
so I think me and you are in a lot of the same, like we're in this pretty much, two kids,
Mhm.
single, same phase of
Mhm.
life,
Yeah.
still unmanageably sexy.
Hell yeah. Look at us.
No,
All
it's
over the
just like
internet, half naked. I am anyway,
well,
you not so much.
my main goal is to bring people together. So I think
Yeah.
living in Los Angeles, it is beach body all year round because the weather's good all year round. So people
Right.
are super fit, right? Like
Yeah.
people are super fit and but then people are competing with each other a little bit in a way that's like not healthy. So I'm always trying to bring people
Mhm.
together. I'm like, how can we bring people of different ages and different backgrounds together? And I kind of think of it as like a vitamin community. Like people think they need to be strong. People think they need
Mhm.
to be doing things alone and that being independent is the only way to be. And that
Yeah.
independence means I'm not codependent. I don't need anyone to tell me they care about me. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that's pop psychology. It's not even real. We do need each
Right.
other. So
Yes.
my biggest thing is building community and I'm not too shy to talk to strangers. So that is like my strength.
You are
Like
not
I
shy. Excuse me? When you just said that your husband was a shy guy, my brain went like, "Ding!" Like,
Oh,
"What?"
you would have been like, "Don't
Especially
marry
knowing you.
him."
Yeah, but knowing you too, I mean, maybe you weren't this way yet, when you were that young and you were just coming out of what sounds like maybe a little bit of a repressive type of childhood and upbringing. So this probably
Well,
stemmed from that once you could finally just express yourself and get it all out there, right?
the
I don't
thing
know.
is I've dated a lot of shy guys because they're too shy to talk. But I make
Mm.
people safe enough to feel like they could talk for the first time.
Aw.
Yeah, so I do I
Yeah.
do I'm a human safe space. I'm a safe space. And also, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people tell me their deepest and darkest secrets right when they meet me because I make them feel not judged. And that's just like a
Okay.
normal part of my life. It's just
I
a
love
normal part.
that. But does
Like,
that feel like burdensome to you to
no.
carry everybody's no?
No, because I don't carry it. I just listen and say sorry.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I feel like I'm pretty healthy about it. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I picked up my buddy to go do some stand up. I was in a show last night, and when my buddy got in the car, okay, so one of the reasons I got really serious about the stand up for the last 7 years is because 7 years ago, I had a very, very bad domestic violence situation, like a very
Mhm.
bad, this guy might kill me any minute. And that gave me the
Terrifying.
focus. It is terrifying. It is
Yeah,
terrifying.
I
It
know.
gave me the focus though, like I might get pummeled to death by a 200-pound 6 foot tall man in front of my yoga class because my schedule is always public. No matter what I'm doing, it's like everybody knows where I'm at all the time. So I'm just like, this
Yeah.
guy's gonna lose his temper. He's gonna kill me in front of my class. And he had threatened to kill me so many times that like I just had this awakening of like, this guy's really gonna kill me. I better start living my dreams right now. And it
Oof.
gave me an immediacy. And so because of that, I filed a restraining order and then I
Mhm.
just started going to open mics almost every day. So almost
Mm.
every day I'd hit up 1 to 3 open mics. And
Wow.
open mics are scary. Okay?
Yeah.
Not because I'm afraid of public speaking. Okay, I just want to be clear. I am not afraid of public speaking. I love speaking. I almost love public speaking more than I like private speaking. Like public speaking, I'm very
I do. I'm
You
much
do?
better on a stage. Yes. Oh, yes. I like speaking at conferences in front of people, classrooms. Yeah. I'm much more
Okay.
awkward when it's one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm totally fine public speaking. So open mics are not scary for that. It's that I have to hear quote unquote jokes about child molesting, like pro
Oh,
child molesting jokes or
yeah.
pro rape jokes or pro violence against women jokes. And so
Mm,
just picture what it's like for me. I'm the only female and there's like 20 incel guys talking
yeah.
about hitting women and then they're all laughing. It's like very
Gross.
scary. Yeah, so I hate open mics, but that's the
Mm,
only way to write comedy. You can't write it by yourself. You have to
mm,
write it, perform it, see what when you get a laugh or not, rewrite it, perform it. It's part of the process. You literally
yeah,
can't just do it by yourself. So anyway, I was not motivated to go in that hellhole of open mics in my 20s, especially because I was making money doing other things, but
yeah,
mostly because I was afraid of other comics. I am currently traumatized by stuff I heard when I was 23. Like, I'm still traumatized by the open mics I went to.
wow,
Even in the last 7 years, I've actually had a pretty decent amount of success in a very short time period because of that, like, laser focus I've had because I wanna live, right?
right, yeah.
Um, um, I have been raped by 2 comics. I have been drugged at a club. All
Oh my
that
God.
stuff is scary, but I am more scared. I just gotta move forward. I just gotta move forward.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I know those are I mean, I guess this are said trigger warning, but my life is a friggin' trigger warning. My whole life is a
Oh,
trigger I am a human trigger warning. So anyway, those bad things have happened to me, but what am I gonna do? Lay down and die? No, I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna keep living my dreams. So yeah, it was terrifying when someone drugged me at a comedy club. I went and hid in the
God.
bathroom and I held onto the walls. I sat on the bathroom floor holding on the walls and I just told someone like, I got drugged, tell my friend and I tried to describe who my friend was and where she was, but I had been drugged.
Oh
And I
my
didn't want to lay
God.
down on the bathroom floor of a comedy club. So I was just like holding the walls, being like,
Yeah,
hey, with the anyway, this I'm not saying this should happen to me or happen to anyone, but it just does.
yeah,
And to me, it's I'm not scared of public speaking. And I don't even not that I don't mind the bad stuff that's happened to me, I obviously do, but it's more important to me that I don't wanna die before my voice is heard. So I just have a
right.
very strong urgency to be like, "No, I actually have a pretty inspiring story."
Yeah.
Like, to the level of physical violence I received by this one guy I have the restraining order against, the level of violence, like, I could easily just never leave the house again, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
Right.
I always say this, but it's like Thelma and Louise drive off a cliff at the end of the movie. That's fucking bullshit, right? Like a promising young woman, she sacrifices herself at the end of the movie, right?
Mhm.
Like Boys Don't Cry. Every movie where there's a sexual assault, they die at the end. And I
Yeah.
think that that's a mistake. I think the movie should start with the sexual assault and how uh I have overcome it and become great, and also just, like, even just being mediocre is pretty cool. Like, if you're
Hell
just like, "Oh,
yeah.
I had this terrible thing happen to me, but I got out of bed today."
That's right.
You know what I
No,
mean?
it's
Like
so true. I mean, not to knock anybody who's been through something horrible and is
yeah.
having a rough time
No.
getting out of bed or moving forward because God, yeah, it's terrible. But it's stories like yours that can inspire people or at least give a glimmer of hope, right? Where it feels like there is none, to think that, okay, it is possible for me to keep going and build a life that's beautiful and
Yeah.
expressive and creative in the way I want it to be, in spite of what they did to me or what happened to me, right?
Right, and so I've actually taught pole and lap dance specifically for survivors of sexual assault,
I
and
love
so
that. I
yeah,
love
so
that.
I do it kind of somewhat S Factor style that we put the mats in a circle,
Hmm.
we have really low lights, and then I lead them through a warm up and I teach them just like a few tricks, but just like people cry. People cry and it's
Yeah.
just because it's scary to be sexy again when someone's damaged you in that way.
Of course. And I think
Mhm.
there's also something about being embodied when somebody has used your body against you. And it's like,
Mhm.
how do you reclaim your own body and your right to be in it and your right to enjoy it and not
Yeah.
feel like afraid in your body because you don't want to get hurt again or assaulted again.
Well,
Like
and even
that's
it's it
powerful. I wish, are you doing that now or you do it like occasionally? Like
I
you
just
have
do it when
plans?
anybody asks me to. So if anybody
Okay.
just emails me on Instagram is like, "Hey, can you run that class again?" I'll be like, "Yep."
Okay. Well, and
So
I'll put your Instagram in the show
okay.
notes. So if
Yeah.
anybody wants to get in touch with Orchid, just check the show notes and her Instagram will be there too.
Yeah, and so It's not even just that it's scary to be sexy because sometimes predators come after me. It's also just like in your body itself. And I talk about this in yoga a lot. It's like when you're like 6 or 7 and you're like about to cry and you hold your breath, you just
Yeah.
don't cry. And then later, as an adult, you're breathing, you start crying for what happened to you in kindergarten because you're not allowed to
Mhm.
cry anymore in kindergarten. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
so there's a million little memories in our body of stuff we just didn't deal with at the time. That's like clutter. It's like a pile of
Sure.
clutter. And so sometimes, like, after restraining on her person, I was trying to do yoga again, but yoga itself was triggering. And so it's taken
Sure.
a long time to build up my ability to do yoga again. Anyways, I'm fairly okay, but I did like a handstand and then I felt this pain in my shoulder. And then I
Mhm.
remembered an event that I had forgotten, like an abuse event.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So as I'm, it's like defrosting an iceberg almost, that how
Mm.
many parts of my body that I'm gonna be like, "Oh, there's a memory I was repressing." So it's like a
Yeah.
little bit when I talk about teaching pole and lap dance for survivors, it's like I am prepared for whatever shit they're gonna remember that they had forgotten. Um,
Yeah.
I actually
And isn't
got
there oh, sorry. Isn't the, is it Gabor Mate who wrote a book, like, The
right.
Body Remembers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
body
Like,
keeps the
we so
score.
oh, yeah, Body Keeps the Score, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it literally gets stored in our cells,
Yeah,
all that shit,
exactly.
unless we let it come out, and I think that's why so many other guests and myself, we've all had the experience that dance and movement and pole, specifically as women, has a therapeutic effect that we did not expect, and it
Yeah, it's a
allows you.
surprise.
It's a
Yeah.
surprise. Yeah, it's a surprise. And I think for women over 40, like we've all lived through some shit of some type or another. And we are, are often dissociated from ourselves and from our bodies. And so if you step into the pole studio, even on a whim or a joke or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, bong, like you're saying, things come back to you and you don't even realize what it is, but you just are starting to feel this stuff. And it's like, whoa. And I think that's one of the reasons we all keep going back and doing more of it, that and the community of other women who we meet there. But it's so interesting. And maybe because this happens more for women than men, because men don't go through shit like we do. They have their own stuff. But so it's not widely known. Like I've learned this by accident, after COVID
Right.
when I was looking for something to do. And everyone who I talked to also didn't expect it. So it's like, well, how do we keep our voices loud so other women can realize like there are
Yeah.
things you can do, whether it's yoga, pole, regular dancing, singing, comedy, try something to express yourself because you'll be so surprised at what comes out.
Well, I think you bring up a good point about being over 40. Like I was just in a comedy show that was uh generation themed. And so the people who
Okay.
opened for me were different generations. But
Okay.
I started with the biggest part of being Gen X is like tough it out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
walk it off, buddy. And so
Yes.
like I feel like, talking to younger people, like they hold space. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so I think we have a bigger backlog of shit we didn't want to
Yeah, we
feel
do.
because we had to tough it out. And like in some ways that's a strength, but in a lot of ways it's creating clutter, emotional clutter that has not been dealt with.
Yeah,
So,
it's
it's
true.
just like I was just thinking how like in the 90s you had to just be skeleton thin or you
Oh,
were obese. Those were the two sizes.
yeah.
Skeleton thin or obese. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy. Like that movie Friday that like
Uh-huh.
that girl that's unacceptably too large, she's like
Yeah.
a size 6.
Yeah.
She's like, like she's not even like it is absurd. They're like, "Ew, she's too fat." It's like, "What? She's way smaller than the average American." Like way
Right.
smaller. It's just like the 90s were so even your eyelashes and eyebrows had to be anorexic. Like your eyebrows had to be super
Right.
thin.
So, like, just a pencil line, a tiny,
Your
tiny
hair
line.
had to be flat ironed straight. Like everything was thin. Your hair, your eyebrows, it's so stupid. It was
So
like,
true.
and it's like it was like it's a very visual representation of like don't take up space, don't have feelings, don't have
Mhm.
opinions. Just shut up and be a skeleton. Like
Right.
you don't have anything to say about that. Anything, right? It's like
Yeah. Yes, and now that's why we're like, so many women of our generation are like 40 whatever to 50 whatever, and we're all like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
The other
balding,
thing about
I'm
you
starting a
brought up
rock band.
you brought up men and their experiences. I think one of my jokes I do, well, you can't see my whole body right now, but I talk about like women are allowed to or men are allowed to express, and I make a pie chart with my arm. I'm like sexuality and aggression, but none of the other emotions. And
Yeah.
women are allowed to express all the emotions except for sexuality and aggression. Like that's that little,
Mm.
men are allowed to
Yes.
do this much of the pie chart, right? And women are not allowed that part of
Right.
the pie chart, but the rest. And so I think there's still like a very big, there's still a spectrum of men's experiences, but in general, men are expected to be super sexual. They're expected to be aggressive. And that if they show any emotion, they get called a pussy or girl
Yep.
or weak or
Yep.
gay or whatever. They get called names. And so when actually 1 out of 6 men are still sexually assaulted. 1 out of 6? That's high, dude. One out of
Yeah, it
six
is.
before the age of 18. 1 out of 6 men.
That's
So
crazy.
men are almost more treated badly when it happens to them. Like they're
Mhm.
treated badly, they're not believed, and they don't get proper treatment. They get
Right.
told it doesn't happen to men, or you didn't really know what happened, or you're remembering it wrong. Just like women get
Yeah.
treated, and then they have like a bigger like identity crisis. Like it's sad that women are just like, oh, this is what happens to us. Like it's sad,
Right.
but it happens to men. It happens to men and women. But the I mean, I feel like one of the biggest problems is, and I think this is how we're revolutionary, is women are meant to have sexual pleasure. Like we are saying women are meant to have sexual pleasure. We're allowed to,
Yes.
we're meant to, our bodies are designed for it.
Oh,
But
yes.
there's still a strong undercurrent that pain is supposed to be associated with sex for women, that women are supposed to be subjugated, it's supposed to hurt or not have feeling, right? And
Mhm.
so
Right.
to awaken ourselves to our own sexuality is a revolutionary act because we're told not to.
Yeah. And they tried it in the 60s and 70s, like Gloria Steinem and, all those women, and they burned their bras and whatever. But I think, I don't know. I mean, they had to go. It was such a long way for us to go. So they started it. And I think our generation is really the ones that are
Well,
putting a pin in it.
I mean, it's a battle that has always been fought and will probably continue. I don't think we're ever going to be able to rest to be like, "Oh, your body count doesn't matter. We buried that." No one's going to That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
There's always going to be misogynists who try to keep us in our place. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people who want free labor from women who are stay-at-home moms. That they
Yeah.
want that. Of course, it's fine if a woman chooses to be a stay-at-home mom, but I mean, I grew up in Orange County where there are matching houses, matching
Hmm.
fake tans, matching
Yeah.
blonde highlights. Everybody looked exactly the same, and women who had careers were called selfish. Like, that is so poisonous,
Oh,
right? I
yeah.
was just raised in an environment where I was expected to be a mother and I was expected to give up my career. And that was so damaging to me.
Yeah.
And like, I love being a mother. It's my favorite thing. Like, I love being
Hmm.
a mother. Like, my daughter, you know, we spend so much time together and she's the coolest. She writes her own jokes that are great. Like, I really enjoy being a mother. But it's not the only thing about me, right? There's
Right.
like,
Right.
well, we're taught that you become a mother and you lose all form of identity. You
Yeah.
no longer are allowed to go to clubs and dance. You're no longer allowed to have, you know what I mean? Like it's like that's still an undercurrent and it's like yeah, you bring up Gloria Steinem. She's so awesome in the whole women's liberation movement, first wave, second wave feminism, right? Like all
Yeah.
those things are important, but it's never done. It's just not done.
Right.
What
Yeah.
I like about our kind of third wave of feminism is that we're allowed to reclaim pink and being soft. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, because
Yes.
the 60s was very much burn your bra, act like a man. You must
Yes,
you
right.
must wear pants, right? But now we're
Yeah.
like, well, we can be sexy.
Yeah.
We can use our like sexiness to get what we want if we need to, but we don't have to, but we can. Right? Like it's
Mhm.
like we can wear a dress if we want to. We don't have to, but we can't. Like I mean, that's it. I find that exciting. Like
Mhm.
I felt like part of being Gen X, I felt like I got the femininity like kind of beaten out of me with like needing to prove how tough I was. Did you feel that way? Did
Yeah,
you?
absolutely. Absolutely. And especially because I was a mom, but I had to have a career. I was the breadwinner for my family when I was married, and
Oh
still to this
wow.
day, now that I'm a widow.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I didn't have a chance to be a soft feminine girl. I worked in corporate America as an executive.
Oh my gosh. So
And
you really
then
had to cut everything from the neck down was just cut off, like no
pretty
emotion.
much,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So you
So
worked in corporate America while being a mom of 2. And then
3.
were you caretaking your
So my husband was a musician.
okay.
So he had a studio, a music studio in the house,
Mhm.
and he would go and, into the studio, the recording studio to record, and he would do gigs and he'd travel to play gigs or tour or whatever. So I had the steady job with the benefits and paid the mortgages. All the houses were always in my name because on paper I had the, income that could qualify for a
Right.
loan and mortgage and whatever. So it was always up to me to provide that stability for a family of 5.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
really flipped. It was a
Wow.
gender flip in my marriage, in my life. Yeah.
It sounds like it wasn't a gender flip, it was like all you,
Right. Well,
right?
in the kind of life that you're talking about, that's expected to be the man, and the woman stays at home with the children and doesn't work,
Well,
right?
I would say so for me, I guess maybe I'm just projecting so I was my daughter's main caregiver
Yeah.
and I earned all the money and my
Mhm.
husband stayed at home not working. So he wasn't even my child's he wasn't my the main caregiver. So I would strap the baby to my chest and go teach a yoga class or I
Yeah.
would pay for daycare out of my paycheck while I had a husband at home who refused to work at all. $0, 0 cents. So you didn't have that experience. So your husband
No.
actually
I would not have stayed in a marriage like that.
So he did take care of the 3 kids. He did a lot of them.
When he could, or we had a nanny that came a day or 2 a week so that because he would be working at home in the studio. And
Okay,
then
all right.
they went to preschool and, once they were 3, they were in preschool.
So he was very involved in raising the 3 kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. So, yeah, so I had a different experience.
Okay.
Look at it. I was the mom and the dad feel.
Yeah. Well,
So that
that's
was
me
a little
now as a widow,
yes.
but not when they were
Yes.
little. No, but I didn't mean comparing it to your family situation. I was talking about how you were describing in Orange County, if the woman
Right.
worked, she was seen as selfish and, she stayed at home. Well, I was the complete flip to that. I had to work
Right.
or else I was seen as selfish.
Oh,
If I had
really?
chosen to stay home,
Oh
well,
my
who else
gosh.
was going to do it?
Right.
I
Right.
needed to do it to take care of our family. So it was like I didn't have an option.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you miss corporate America lately, or you happy not being
No,
corporate
I
America?
haven't actually worked I mean, since before COVID, I was working remotely from home and, I've been kind of I worked in New York City for so many years and then moved here. Um, you know, there's things about it that are fun and exciting, and there's things about it that are broken and awful.
Yeah, I feel like so at the top of lockdown, I took a corporate tech sales job. And I actually was surprised how much I liked it because I've always run my own business. And so to
Yeah.
take a job with a corporation, I was like this is opposite of every indie movie. I was like, manic pixie dream girl saved by corporation. Like I was like like I liked how competitive it was. I was very good
Mhm.
at it. I was always on the sales boards. And
Yeah,
then but then like my daughter did really kind of suffer because I wasn't giving her as much attention. Like because
sure.
I got burned out. I got tired. It was very
Mhm.
tiring to work 50, 60 hours a week, right? Like
Yeah,
that's not natural for a human being to work that amount of time, right? Like it's
right.
too much. It's just too much. I got like astigmatism that I didn't have before. I was like, just from 1 year on the computer. I was like,
Yeah.
why is my vision double with one eye? I was like, that's so crazy.
Yep. Yeah, that was my life for many, many years, decades, whatever. But so your point, going back to it, of the feminism like beaten out of us, like we didn't,
Right.
not even just me, because that was my experience, but we weren't really encouraged to be girly because then that was seen as like anti-feminist or whatever, right?
Right.
Because we were coming up
Exactly.
under the first wave. And I do appreciate now how I think our definition and my definition of feminist now is to just support women in however they want to be, and
Exactly.
and not take us from one box and put us in another box. Like, I don't want
Right.
anybody to tell me who the fuck I am or how to be me. Like, I just
Well,
want to be the way I am.
yeah, exactly. Like I was we were both raised in an environment where it's seen as bad to be girly, but it's just like we could still have cheerleaders, but just let's have the cheerleaders cheer for the women doing math class, like like
Yeah.
we can still have
Right.
cheerleaders, but let's cheer for other things besides the men giving each other concussions. Like they can do that still.
Yes.
But just expand what we cheer for.
Be
Expand
more
what we
inclusive.
yeah,
Mhm.
be inclusive. Like I actually love wearing dresses. I wear dresses almost every time I do stand up. And
Mhm.
but then I also wear gym socks to my knees with Vans. So
Yeah, but that's sexy. It's cute, you know?
yeah. Well, it's just like I don't have to do feminism like anyone else tells me to do it. And that's exciting.
Exactly.
It's exciting to be able to have a wider range of who we can be as people.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
are you've been traveling a lot teaching pole.
Yeah, doing Gen X workshops with women over 40 in smaller markets. We did one in Newburgh, New York a few weeks ago, and I'll be in Santa Fe, New Mexico in a couple weeks.
That's so
It's great.
cool.
It's
So do you
amazing to see these women come in who've never done anything like it in the past, and they're all
Mhm.
very nervous and scared for the first like 10 minutes. And then as soon as we all start moving and they realize that it's a safe space, and the expectations of them are not that they're going to start flipping upside down on the pole, they just light up. And it's a great 3 hours we spend together. By the end, everybody's just glowing and happy and laughing and giggling and excited. And they're like wearing the pleasers, because I always bring pleasers in all different sizes so the women could try them on and just see what it feels like to
I
wear,
don't know what a
you know,
pleaser
six.
is.
Oh, it's the shoes.
Oh.
It's the stripper shoes. Yeah. I'm like
Oh,
looking around my room. There's not one.
I have a closet full of 8, 9-inch heels. I didn't know they were called pleasers.
Well, that's the brand that makes them.
Oh, it's the brand. Oh, you're sponsored. Ooh, you're like a
I am not
professional
sponsored,
player.
but everybody who wears them knows what pleasers are. Anybody who
Oh,
dances. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
okay.
brand.
Okay. All right. You're not sponsored? You should get sponsored.
I'm not sponsored. But there is a whole episode, a short one, like a 10 or 15-minute one where I talk about the shoes and I show the differences. So you can refer back to that episode.
Okay, I'll watch that episode about your favorite brand of stripper shoe. That sounds
Yes,
great.
please do. Um, okay, well, listen, you shared so much of your personal journey, and I really appreciate that because it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure somebody will listen to this who can relate, and hopefully who you will inspire and help. And if anybody who's listening or watching is interested in doing a pole class with Orchid, you can certainly reach out to her on DM on Instagram, or you can reach out to me directly. But we're going to end it. I'm going to ask you if there's anything else that you would like to share before we say goodbye, and you're always welcome. I
Sure.
say to everybody, you're welcome to come back another time. We could talk more.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing that's, like, helpful to me is if anybody looks at my Instagram, if you like any of my stand-up clips, to share my stand-up clips, because I do tour the US and Canada, and also I've done a little Europe. The more people watch my videos, the more it's gonna boost my, message, because I've been teaching
Right.
people one at a time to be badass, but I'm like, "No, I need to fill stadiums." You know what I mean? Like, I need to fill stadiums.
Yes. I want to
Yeah,
come see you at a stadium
thank you. That'd be
or
great. I'd love
downtown
that.
LA at a big theater.
That'd be great. I'd love that. All right, well,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
you're getting there. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. You are a warrior and a beautiful human. So
Thank you.
until next time, everybody, be well. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by Gen X Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.